So we got Khamzat Chimaev versus Gilbert Burns coming up at UFC 273. In this video, we're going to do a quick breakdown and look at the betting odds for this fight. And I'm also going to be showing you guys how to place a bet on this fight online if you're interested in doing so. Let's get started with this video. So we got Khamzat versus Gilbert Burns. As of right now, let's go ahead and take a look at the betting odds. So Khamzat's a heavy favorite. He's a minus 590. And Burns is a plus 425. So I didn't think the odds would be this lopsided, but they are. Let's do a quick breakdown of this fight, and then we'll go ahead and go to the sports book where I'll show you guys the different options on how to bet on this fight. So Khamzat's 10-0. I believe he's had about 3 fights in the UFC. No big names. Burns is 20-4. He recently beat Wonderboy Thompson. And I believe the fight before that was against Kamaru Usman, which he lost. So he's coming off a win against Wonderboy Thompson, both welterweights, and big age difference. Burns is 35. Khamzat's young. He's about to turn 28 years old. Both welterweights. Obviously, Burns, if you guys watch UFC, he was fighting at 155 a few years ago, I believe. And then he came up to 170. So he's not doing much of a cut. He mentioned that in his interviews. Khamzat is going to have to cut a lot of weight. I know he's fought at 185 also. So he's a big welterweight. So big size advantage over here. 6'2", and with this 75-inch reach advantage. So he has 4 inches on the height and 4 on the reach. Burns is a smaller guy. If you guys have seen him, he's like a smaller, kind of buff little guy. And then Khamzat is just like a monster if you've seen his fights. But again, this is the first time he's going to be tested. So a lot of people out there, they're wondering, is he going to just finish Burns in the first round like he's been finishing all his opponents? I believe he's only been hit 1 time in his 3 fights. But like I said, those were no-name fights. So let's see if this fight's competitive, or is Khamzat going to get an easy victory. So with that said, let's go ahead and go over to the sports book, look at the betting odds on Bovada and also MyBookie, 2 of my favorite sports books. And we'll take a look at the different ways you can bet on this fight. So real quick, before we go ahead and go to the betting odds on Bovada, I'm going to place a link in the description if you want to earn the best bonus available for joining Bovada Sportsbook. It's free to join. Hit the link in the description. It takes just a couple minutes to join, and you can go ahead and browse around for free. Like I said, you don't have to deposit any money. And if you like it, you want to place a bet, you can go ahead and make a deposit and take advantage of the bonus. So that's in the link in the description below this video. So check that out. And let's go on to Bet on UFC over here. And this is popping up to create an account. It's this simple: first name, last name, date of birth, your phone number, email, password, zip code, and your account will be created. But let's go ahead and take a look at the odds. Very, very easy to bet on here. So over here, we got minus 525 and we got plus 365. So those are the odds over here. And I'll explain why you may want to use more than one sports book. And we'll head over to MyBookie in just a minute. But let's stay on Bovada for now. So as of right now, if you're new to sports betting, so it's minus 525, like I said before. This just means he's a heavy favorite and Burns is a big underdog. So with that said, let me give you guys an example, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the prop bets as well. There's other ways to bet to make a lot more money, so you want to stick around to the end of this video. So as of right now, if you go Khamzat Chimaev, if you bet $100, you only get $19, okay? But there's different ways to earn more. I'll show you guys, okay? Give me just a few seconds, just a few minutes. So $19, that same 100 on Burns is going to give you $365. So we're talking about what, 18, 19 times the amount of money, right? That's of course if Burns wins. Now I get this question a lot. If you place that 100 on Khamzat Chimaev, if he wins, do you get your 100 back? Of course you do. Otherwise you would lose money, right? If you didn't get your 100 back if you won. So if you're going to go with Chimaev, what you may want to do is make more of a prediction by clicking on 14 bets over here. And there's going to be prop bets, and there'll probably be more as the fight gets closer. So method of victory. So if you predict the method of victory that Khamzat wins by, you're going to make a lot more money. So if you think he's going to win on points, it's a plus 250. Now your $100 is going to give you a $250 payout, right? If you bet $1,000, you're going to make $2,500. So you just went to plus 250 from making $19 to making $250 by predicting if you think he's going to win on points. Now, if you think he's going to submit him, plus 225, pretty good payout as well, right? You bet your 100, 225. You bet your 1,000, 2,250. It's going to say place bet over here. You're going to click that. That's it. Now, if you think he's going to win by a knockout, it's a plus 140. Now, on the other hand, if there probably is some of you guys that think Burns is going to win, right? Even though he's a heavy underdog. If you predict the method of victory, you know he's a good submission artist. He's had knockouts too. So if you think he's going to win by submission or knockout, you're going to be plus 1,100, plus 1,200. For example, you bet $1,000, you make $12,000. You bet 1,000 on the knockout or TKO, you win $11,000. So that's one way to increase your payout. So let me show you guys one other way real quick. So we're going to go to UFC MMA. And I have a full breakdown of this on my channel as well. I have many tutorials. So let's say you bet on this fight, right? So where did it go? I just lost it. So let's say you just take Burns, for example. And let's say you're playing with $1,000, right? That's going to give you $3,650 if he wins. Of course, low chance, right? Big underdog. Now, let's say you take another underdog up here, Aljamain Sterling. Even though I think Peter Yan's going to win, no chance I give Sterling in this fight. I'm taking Peter Yan in this fight, by the way, below this one. But I'm just showing you guys an example. So now you got two big underdogs, right? So now you're at plus 1,993. So this is called a parlay. This means you have to win both fights. So you would make 20 times your money right now. If you throw in a couple more, right? Let's just throw in a huge underdog over here. Volkanovski versus the Korean zombie, right? I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, so I'm not going to try. Let's just take him, even though I think Volkanovski is going to beat him too, right? So now you're plus 12,455. Now this is just an example of giving you guys. Of course, all these fights are lopsided. Very low chance of any of these guys winning, but you never know, right? So now when you bet your 1,000, you can win $124,550, but you have to win all three fights. And the chances of you doing that are very, very low because I showed you guys big underdogs. But you guys get my point, right? You can combine fights. Now, let's say you think Chimaev is going to win, right? Which a lot of people do, right? So your $100 is getting you 19 right now, right? So let's just say you do take the favorites. Let's take the favorites now. Let's take Peter Yan and let's take Volkanovski. So very likely, right? So now if you hit all three of these, instead of winning $19, you're winning $60. You're taking all the heavy favorites, of course. So you can mix it around how you want. You could do multiple fights. You could do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever you like, right? And you can make, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 times your money by doing parlays. So there's many different ways to bet on this fight. If I go back, once you create an account, you can play around with it and kind of see what your payout will be. You can predict the exact method of victory. There's even if you think he wins by round 3 decision, does he win inside the distance? Both ways. What round? You could predict the round. So if you predict the round, you think Khamzat wins in round 9. It's a plus 900. That means you make your 9 times your money. If he wins in round 2, you make 4 times your money. So you might as well predict the round over here if you're going with Khamzat, right? If you think he's going to finish him quick, first round, plus 125. Instead of making $19, you make $125 when you bet your $100. So there's all these different ways of victory. You don't even have to pick a winner over here. You can just pick the total rounds over under. So I suggest you guys create an account. It's free. If you guys like it, you could deposit money using Bitcoin or your credit card. And it's very, very easy to place a bet. So join Bovada. The link will be in the description. And those are the different ways you could bet on Bovada for this UFC fight or any UFC fight or any sports event, right? So let's go ahead and take a quick look at MyBookie also. I'll place a link in the description for this as well, and use code BettingMan. That's going to get you a free bet. I believe it's for, I can't remember the amount, but I think it's like $15 or so. So put that code in, BettingMan, hit the link in the description, join MyBookie as well, and we'll take a look at the odds over here, and we're going to go to the sportsbook. After we go to the sportsbook, let's go to MMA. Let's see the odds over here. So over here, the odds are a little bit different. So we got plus 385 on Burns. What did we have over here? We had plus 365. So you're going to make a little bit more money if you bet on Burns. If you're betting on Burns, you might want to go to MyBookie instead of Bovada. Bet because it's plus 385. So over here, you're making $385 per $100 you bet. So on Khamzat, you're making a little bit less because he's minus 160. So over here, as you can see, you're 100, you're going to get 385. It's a little bit more. All you do is put in the amount, click place bet. MyBookie works very, very similar to Bovada. Same thing. As far as depositing money, they have a little bit more options, I believe. I do just use a Bitcoin or credit or debit card, but they have other cryptocurrencies you could use to deposit. And as far as withdrawing money on MyBookie, I have a full tutorial on that as well. They give you many different options. You could withdraw straight to your bank account, or you could get paid in cryptocurrency as well. With that said, let me know in the comment section who you got for this fight.